Audio Jungle.
Hello, my name is Kimberly. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion on the facts. You can always do it here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
This is Nigeria Info.
Now to our YouTube at Nigeria Info ABJ and Facebook Nigeria Info. I'll tell you is this Saturday? And I was thinking, is this part 2? You're dressed in blue. I've never seen you in anything outside black before.
Blue is my second favorite color.
Ah.
I don't get to wear it often, but...
And it took you 2 months to show your second favorite color or more.
It feels different, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, you look nice, by the way. You look really great.
Thank you very much. You look good as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, so that's what's going to be really unusual on the show today. The fact that Itodo is not in black, but besides that, Niger, same old. Well, except for one pleasant surprise. Not pleasant per se. Unpleasant, I bet, for IU. Pleasant for those like Ngige who want him out and all those who took the case to court. But let's catch up in terms of the update with the cash squeeze.
Oh, yeah, let's do that right now. The CBN is meeting with the NLC as well as Ngige to sort out what exactly would play out tomorrow just to avert the strike action by the NLC. Now, to avert the strike and picketing of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, offices nationwide by members of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Mr. Unemployment, Dr. Chris Ngige yesterday met with the president of NLC, Joe Ajero, and top of the CBN led by Governor Godwin Ngige, who received the groups at the Tree of Labour in Abuja of the NLC to engage the CBN through effective dialogue rather than adding more pain to the already troubled economy. A reliable source who was privy to the meeting told that Ngige said engaging social the CBN to adjust fast labor tips the economy to a crisis. Now, he said there was a significant response from the CBN, but that they needed to continue to dispense more cash into the economy to ensure that it gets to the nooks and crannies of the country. Now, reports also have it that there's still the crowd that various banks are hoarding the cash and for a reduction in tariff as well as the fuel scarcity. And in Abuja, we've seen so far that...
I mean, right now they're throwing everything into it.
Easy, but for electricity, it's really expensive. You buy 1 minute and it's finished. Someone reported to me that it's taking from their units because they buy a huge amount this week. It's already beeping and it's done with, and they're not sure to have the conversation with the neighbor or go report to.
Don't even bother your neighbor.
To NEPA.
The thing reads like fast now.
It's painful.
I promise you.
Yeah.
By the time you turn on your refrigerator, your AC and or whatnot, it reads pretty fast. I thought the same thing myself. There was one particular month I was like, all right, going on. Someone having my work, and I just had adjusted it. So it reads faster. If you buy, say you're used to buying, let's say 20,000 naira, you find out that the unit value has dropped significantly.
Yes, it has, yeah.
It feels like every quarter there's a slight difference in what I see there. I buy through all right. The job made by the distributors.
That's two adjustments made public. A lot of people missed out on it. So if you not look at how many units you got every purchase, you have no idea what exactly you need for yourself. But yeah, those are some of the demands by the NLC. A few hours till we get Wednesday. Are they going to a vet hike? Are we going to have a strike action tomorrow? Effective enough cost of change that we want?
Yeah.
Just some of the questions.
Some banks are even thinking about increasing the limit. Half the time you go into these banks, they don't give more than 20, 50,000. So, some of them are already contemplating maybe we need to go as high as 80 and 100 to just inject more money in circulation, all in the bid to beat the strike Wednesday. Now, if all their effort from the Minister of Labour, Productivity, Ngige, the CBN governor, if all of this effort would translate to NLC shield sold at this point in time, we'll get it. And it just might be an opportunity to bring, like you mentioned, it's shifting the goalposts. You first start with cash crunch, then you remind the people, all right, this electricity thing is still a problem. Fuel scarcity. And I think someone needs to address this fuel scarcity situation because it's off and on.
Yes,
it's so confusing. Badly that I'm afraid to be tied to availability of PMs. You feel so heartbroken, then the next minute you see the up. So someone should address it. I think that the NLC is throwing this in their very recent to say, what's the options? Yeah, no queues, but No guarantees against next week.
There's no telling. I mean, in Abuja, for instance, 1 week it's free, the next minute you see queues everywhere. So it's a bit worrisome. A lot of people. I mean, people have asked that the Minister of Finance comes out to give a statement and maybe an update as to the committee that constituted a while ago, but that has not been on. And it's assumed that the committee has done their best. Because right now, the fuel scarcity it's a bit better now. More people are able to get access to the fuel, but there's no telling, like you mentioned, how long that would be for. If you can buy fuel right now, well,
okay, that is translating to buying in my head.
I mean,
do not buy about your business.
Yes, well,
all right. People say about it is okay because you say if you can buy. But the thing is, I don't look after it anymore. They just have trust right now. The minute it just goes a little halfway, like nope. Not today, Satan. I'm filling you up. You never can tell. I guess that come from. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. The NLC strike. I don't want to wager on this. Bet your paycheck that they're not going to go the strike. There's just something in the air that says they have a reason. CBN a bit more proactive. The Ngige make language saying that we don't want the strike to happen. CBN our lives out. Let's hope all of them just crystallize together neatly enough to just convince the NLC and other union that the strike isn't necessary. Well,
the Labor Minister is optimistic fact that the strike would not hold. So let's hold on to that. And hopefully businesses are not grounded from tomorrow because of the strike action. Yeah, fingers crossed on that one.
Yeah. All right. We don't have a guest joining us on the show. As a matter of fact, feels like the whole week would not have one. But we will trust you to help us with through this greatly. Trust you to help us with your informed perspective to the stories we're looking at today. And so far, we've got a number of people who have joined the conversation. I see Banky says special greetings to us in the studio. Thank you. Ekpeyong Okoho, Madam Speaker Itodo, borrow me your glasses. All right, that's what you're looking at. Frank, good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, Itodo. Welcome to the roundtable. Itodo, you look pretty cool with your looks. Good to know. And Tokwe Adekola, Ogadis, your outfit makes sense, so I will copy you this Sunday. All right, nice. Then, fashion statement. Good afternoon, Kimberly, Obong Itodo. I love your dress. Ebere Joseph Ani Ministry. Good afternoon, Kim and Itodo. Welcome to the show. Guys, thank you very much and welcome. There are people on Facebook.
Yeah, I do. Facebook patience. It's good afternoon, Kim and Itodo. Itodo, your voice is not ejecting. I'm not sure. I hope that's fixed. Ready?
It's done.
Yes. Joe says, good afternoon. You both look good. Thank you very much for Facebook. You can join in via our online platforms of Facebook and YouTube at Abuja.
All right, let's move on to the next quickly. And that's the cue that the courts had action demanding that I stop parading himself. PDP chairman.
Yes, National China People's Democratic Peace Senator Iyorchia has stepped aside, the chairman of the party. He was replaced by Umar Ila Magum. Will assume office as the acting national chair pending the determination of the case. Let's now recall that a high court in Makurdi has strained and battled Ayu from parading as chairman of the party pending the determination of the substantive suit, which has been adjourned to April 2023 for hearing. A member of the from Benue, Tahide Utan, who is before Justice W.I. obtained order restraining Ayu from parading himself as chairman of the party. Now, Ayu was for anti-party activity in the wake of loss in the presidential election. But in a Monday statement made, the former lawmaker argued that Ward lacked the powers to suspend him. I mean, the G5 governors, had called for this the longest, saying that the candidate for the presidency was from the north and they wanted the chairmanship zone to the south. And that's why they had that disparity and disagreement and did not get the support from these 5 governors. But people are saying this is coming rather late. It's there's no difference that it will make, but who things play for the party and how they are able to handle this thing they have filed in courts, arguing that they had better chances or maybe they won at the election. So let's see if this is going to mar their chances or make things different for the party and, of course, don't attend elections.
Something they should have resolved way before the polls. I quite agree with people who are saying, the timing of it is a bit off. It was pure politics as to, the arm twisting between camp G5 governors and those who are on the side of the chairman staying there. The argument they put forward, even though there were quite a number of other subtexts beyond, he's from the same region with the presidential candidate and the likes of it. But it was something they should have looked at. The party a bit more proactive at that point in time to say, we have an election at stake, and having 5 of these individuals on one and with the possibility of hobnobbing with other people, they should have read it. I mean, something they're just not could this be the writing this out. If you don't mend, defend and ensure that you have one team. But what is this going to break? Well, it's just going to be more politics. Rest break.
We still got some
Oh,
time.
it's still some time, yeah.
before.
So it's still going to be more of the politics of things as to, yes, the case you're heading to court, but this is something that you should have perhaps helped to heal your house before you went to the polls. And I recall we've had analysts come on this show repeatedly, and I would remember Dr. Ngige was one person who was talking about these issues as to addressing some of these issues in-house. If you do not, the tendencies are pretty high that it's going to cost you the election at the end of the day. All of this is also the fallout is what we're leaving and the whole part coming out of it. They just could not address that issue of the region where it should go to.
Yes.
And I recall it also was someone who talked about if P had zoned it to the south, PC wouldn't have brought out the strong card of saying, all right, we're going to get Muslim northern to balance it up so that you get coming from this region of the country. So there's a lot lying on the decisions the PDP should have made in the country to how, maybe not how they performed at the polls, you would really greatly.
Many believe it's coming rather late, but of course...
Imagine if they had River State, Kitty, in the good books with we,
Maybe better
and then they
chances.
had, Benue State, they had Oyo State,
Of the
and they had,
G5.
exactly, G5 State, you had all of them in team working tooth and whatever to deliver their state.
Well, we'll see things play out, but right now, I mean, according to the Constitution, once the chairman steps aside, it has to be the same thing of the deputies from
There's
the
the
same
deputy,
region
yeah.
that takes over, because they've got deputies from North and the South, but right now it's the North over. So it's pretty much the same thing. It's still the North in
And that's
charge.
why I said it's still up to the politics of things, because about Iyorchia, you step aside for a bit, or maybe permanently. It doesn't change the dynamic of things. But then also, if you're looking at the constitution of their party, it would require these deputies to step in. It would cause a total shift in balance of things to say, okay, totally not there, maybe further down the ladder because of his region. So it was a very tricky situation for the PDP to head off, even when the demand were made. I think they should have just settled it with the zone of that
Yes.
beyond
So have a north
the
and the
chairman.
south,
The chairman
yes.
was just aggrieved people bringing up an issue at this point in time.
All right, you can join the conversation right now. Watch us live on YouTube and Facebook. You know, in via the WhatsApp platform to hear as to what you think about some of the headlines that we have reeled out so far. But we'll go on a quick break right now. And when we come back, we'll hear from you. Stay tuned.
Hello, my name is Kimberly and the whole fact, and I bring you the biggest story and conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info. Fact. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute. Here on Facts. Join and let's talk.
Audio Jungle.
This is Nigeria Info. This is Nigeria Info. This is Nigeria Info. This is Nigeria Info.
Hello.
This is Nigeria Info.
Open this weekend. Come and take your money. Yes, they were
With a
open.
limit.
Exactly. But even at that, there's speculation that they're trying to use the limit upwards. And then we've the Minister of Labour and Productivity says we will through the CBN to arrest this strike. The last thing we want is for the Nigerian Labour Union ask this to one. But once cash cross electricity for subsidy, I hope they're able that we don't ground the country with that strike. But would you see the strike happening? Well, that's a question when you call us. Talked about Iyorchia, are you on the expected asking him to stop referring himself as the PDP man? Now, do you agree with me that this is coming too late? And what change will bring to the PDP? Let's get your thought on that. We have one quick update to share with you. So yesterday we talked at length and quite a number of you responded to the story of fuel subsidy. Well, the government is saying the incoming administration, it's on them. They will be at the palliative. So right now, we should be engaging with the president-elect and his team like, all right, Mr. President-elect, what's your plan when you get into alternative for subsidy?
Yeah.
How soon are you going to remove subsidy? Would you want a template presented by your predecessor, or you have something grand to present to Nigeria? Seeing that the federal government says, look to them, not to us, I think we know where...
That seems too much burden on that.
On who?
On the new administration.
They just came in. It's like boarding. You're coming in. They can't stand you around. I mean, before coming in, just take you up on this boarding thing. You should know, first situation matter deals, security matter there, this economy. It should be weighing on you as you wake up being the president of the country in the first instance, even before you're sworn in as the elect.
Now provision for the subsidy ends June 1st, right? So it means something needs to be done. A plan needs to be in place so that surprised or shocked by what happens afterwards. And well, this will go to show how prepared the new administration is for the problems that Nigerians have been going through for the longest period. I mean, the fuel subsidy situation has been in conversation for a very long time, the removal. But mostly being how would Nigerians be able to cope if it's taking off removed. But then, let's wait and see, right? Hope that they've got good enough plans to handle the situation when well.
But then, if anyone asks you advice on Vice President-elect coming in soon, what would it be concerning this first subsidy? Would you say to him, President-elect, remove it the minute you get it, once it gets to 1st June, and provide what palliative? Or would you tell him to just take a chill pill a little, read the room, feel the pulse of the name, and then decide when would be the best time to remove the subsidy?
Now,
But then isn't that also delaying doomsday at the end of the day because you need to remove subsidy? That is, I feel like who are listening to this conversation get very vulnerable about subsidy because I get where they come from, a lot of layers to this subsidy conversation. The narrative that, subsidy is going to a few people, so much money. I feel like there's a lot to deconstruct from that. We're not getting all of the picture from the government. The fact that is the government saying it doesn't mean that they're giving you all of the details for you to, intelligently interpret what the implication of this subsidy removal will translate to at the end of the day. So they've told us how much they spend on subsidy, but it begs for a lot more question to interrogate those figures, what we get in, and why you're not making provisions to refine before this, interest with removing subsidy, as it were. So yeah, for people who flinch at removing subsidy, I get where you're coming from. However, we need to be able to address this. It's gone on for too long.
For too long, yeah. Now, recall in January of 2012, I believe, when the subsidy was supposed to be removed by the Jonathan administration, and the administration as well as the one that's come in May, where some of those who protested. But it means they've got plans in place to ensure that the subsidy issue is.
Well, the 8 years of President Buhari had a crop of people who protested subsidy during Jonathan's absence.
Yes.
So,
Wait and see.
all right then. Let's get full lines. Let's get to you. Call us up on 700-951-0000, or you can call 0809-59. What's the number again? 597869 or 080-330-137. Forget we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, so you can leave your comments there.
Welcome.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Fine. Yes, I'm Bata. Right now, I'm calling for Area 1.
Welcome.
First, we must take people, give us the opportunity to the listen to the yearning of the people. Regarding to the cashness and the labor meet with the labor minister, meet with organized labor.
Yeah.
have been saying this country is going to help Nigeria. Look at what's in Nigeria. Everywhere people are crying up to now. I know that they will see where the back now. A lot of damage. People they have come to go. Not the other. You can go to the back. How crash is. So it's an issue. I think you see the high rate of inflation rate in the country. Look at this. Look at those people who are bringing the Lagos. They must make their money.
All right.
I think the government knows. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Welcome to you. Afternoon.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Kim, and I greet Itodo also.
Welcome.
Yes, yeah, let me just speak about the travel of and what's happening in BDP. I'll first of all start by saying that in the shoes of Atika, I have done it, and over 100 times, I will stake you. You understand? A man is not somebody, who can stand for his philosophy simply because he cannot win. In other words, for you to think that you're a man, you must be able to go through the thick and thin of life. You understand? So what am I trying to say? As far as I'm concerned, Allah, he did what he was supposed to do. Now, the problem is that sometimes we bring emotion into the PDP issue. Everyone talking about, maybe we should have actually been, article or PDP would have hacked Sari to relinquish his position. It's not as simple as that. What is them? Uche and Co. have told Nigerians that they wanted power shift to the south. So whatever, it is that they were not in any position to listen to anything at that point in time. They just wanted power shift. And everything came from the fact that Wiki lost his presidential bid. It's as simple like that. So I think they did what they were supposed to do. They did what they were supposed to do. Fine, it didn't work out for them at the end of the day. But if I were in the position for what I said earlier, I would have just done the same thing. There's no regret out of it. So as it is now, if you get and the people think they think they've had their way, well, let it be. And the society will do it at the end of the day. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
I'm
Welcome.
a minister of that's Chris Ngige. For us, the workers are suffering at times. Did that man make any comment? The Minister of Labour. He didn't make any comment. All what the workers are suffering, Nigerians are suffering. He didn't do anything. Today have done it. And this very fuel subsidy. Tunumbu was one of the people that protest in Lagos. We are in protest. With the green leaf. Tunumbu said that it's a thief. Nigerians said that is our right. We should not say that during good luck. And then say you will remove it. We will not.
All right. We don't need to be drag issues that we can just have a conversation on address. Hello.
Hello, Kim. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Itodo, I greet you.
Welcome.
Yeah, my sister, this is Nyaola. You know, I don't go to emotions, but it pains me when somebody somewhere and tend to play with millions of intelligence. It pains so much because I witnessed what a lot of people suffer. I'm on the field. I know what I'm saying. What am I driving at, Sister Kim? You are the president, are the person who protested about in 2014 or so when this person removed subsidy. That was a president who listened. You protested. You call it a scam. You call it all sorts of things. And then you came in. You continue with all of a sudden, the time I heard subsidy were removed because we are buying fuel for something naira. All of a sudden, subsidy was removed, and then we have for 1 and something naira. Sister, if you remember.
Well, I know that the government made concerted effort at different points.
I want to finish, please. I don't know if it's the
No, you asked me if I remember, and I was trying to remind you that I remember.
Sorry, my sister. You know, he removed subsidy. We are now buying fuel from 87 naira to 1 and something naira. All of it, we are still not hearing about the same subsidy was removed that we are buying fuel for 1 and something naira. Okay, even if they finally remove subsidy, we'll be buying fuel for 300 naira. And at last year, which I still hear, even when they was saying it, now they were saying 750. My question is, is going to get punished for all these things because crime against humanity. Telling you, and these people keep on.
All right, I don't understand the question. Who's get punished? Subsidy?
Who is going to get punished? Because this is a crime, Sister Kim. This is a crime. You call it, Mr. President, call it a scam. He called it a scam before he came in. And it's not me, it's his word. And now he's continuing with that scam, and he's not telling us to go and face the person that is coming in. That's not a crime.
Okay, Ola. You said you were not going to get emotional about it at one point else. Okay.
Went right into it. But then again, a lot of people have
the government
their concerns about what's happening in Nigeria.
And legitimate concern, that is. I know that the government made effort at some point in time. They came with different names for subsidy just to make it sound, oh, we've done something. We've acted on, our position to just remove this subsidy. But they apparently did not succeed at it. Because recall in 2020, when I'm trying to recall the name that NNPC was putting out there, the price started varying every month. And we learned that, okay, they were trying to adjust and see how they can remove subsidy, but it just did not work.
Yes.
As long as you're not refining, you see all this talk about the next administration coming in, the palliative. If we do not have refineries working where we are sure, a lot of factors will come into play and would determine the price of petrol at the end of the day. So that you're buying it at this cost and it fluctuates is not a function of subsidy. The government is just looking at how do we save money and channel into something else. Now that's to trust the government that whatever they save from subsidy will be used in, channel towards something tangible. Hopefully that you can see and relate with.
What do we consider as tangible? Because it's one thing to say you would channel the funds into something else. It's actually another thing for you to do that and ensure that Nigerians benefit from that thing that you have put in place. That's the worry, because we just and it's just like, what's this promise that may not live up to? It's just said to all adult tension, things just go business as usual and change it afterwards. That's always the worry for a lot of people. Let's just hope that indeed it's removed as soon as this new government comes into place. Then we can actually see in clear terms what is being done. There's another concern. There are no refined places. There's nothing on the side to ensure that once it's removed, we're not faced with another issue afterwards. Because how many people can actually afford the fuel once it gets increased? And the markets are made to be the ones determining. Minimum wage is like 30 out. A lot of people have not been able to get some increase because the economy is not exactly favorable. So people are still trying to manage with the little that they have and how difficult even Nigeria is. So these concerns are legit. But then government has constantly promised.
Seeing that you even mentioned minimum wage, it's almost predictable. There are a lot of things you can predict. You don't need to be an oracle to say. You don't need to remove subsidy and press the switch for wage review. Besides, it's almost getting to the 5-year point, if it's there already. When did they review the last one? You find the fact that the price of things will go up and respond to the removal of subsidy, demands will now be minimum wage is 30,000. It's not realistic given the fact that everything has responded to the removal of subsidy.
Yes.
Review salary upwards. And then it's a vicious circle. If you manage to get the government to review salary upwards, something else will give you a reason to review it further upwards altogether. So just that the people have a brilliant idea on how to deal with this, our catch-22 situation, because it's not as simplistic as you make it sound coming from the government to remove subsidy and it fixes certain things. It would fix one thing, but I promise you a lot other things will present its head. It's so hydra-headed that Nigeria does not have one solution to address something is resolved altogether. But let's go to you. Let's get more of your take ahead from Honorable Minister off your mic. Who all have called?
Yes,
Abubakar. So let's more people.
Good afternoon.
There's one are you bringing Minister of Petroleum?
You have contributed with someone else. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, my name is David.
Welcome.
Good afternoon.
About the subsidy removal issue, I want the incoming administration should do. The incoming administration of Senator Tinubu from this world goal. Clear what he wants to do. The different candidates during campaigns talk to that subsidy will be removed.
Yeah.
And I don't think we need to dilly-dally about it. Just take it off. We would cope. We should cope. And part of the coping mechanism is increasing minimum wage and channeling the money into concrete infrastructures, into concrete thoughts that is feasible. Some money will be saved from the subsidy. So if people really see that the money is working for Nigerians, there will be less clamor and things can be a bit easy to understand, right? But the administration does not have time for honeymoon. That should be clear to the leadership and the team around the administration as it is right now. There is no time for honeymoon. There is so much on ground that needs to be done, and there is no time, really, honestly. Can I talk about the PDP?
Yeah, sure. But you have like
30 seconds. It was clear from the world that Ajibola Ahmed Tinubu was going to win this election. I'm not saying no malpractices in a couple of cases, but it is not substantial enough for me to pontificate and say there was massive rigging. That is not my point. The fact that all the major candidates against the didn't come together as one against that ticket. When data, it's clear from what the data was saying that was going to win. Even when
which of the data though are you referring to? Did you mention?
Well, maybe he's speaking about the polls that were released at the time.
It can't be the polls because the polls apparently did so much the president-elect.
Welcome to you.
Itodo.
Yep.
Welcome. Nigeria was great to be great. Worked all that. Wow. Good evening to good evening. Good afternoon. I want to say good evening as 3 o'clock. Please. Thank you. Good afternoon to Mr. President. Muhammad Buhari, Tinubu, Ojus Okalu, Richard Okorocha, all of them. I agree with them. In 2014 and 2012, they say subsidy is a scam. We shouldn't agree. Why now? I don't think any day or in a week we will not talk about subsidies in this government case. Mr. President, we talk about you, but under your watch, finance minister, you are sending you every day on subsidy. And what if Kim look at Abuja? Mr. Itodo move around that since 8 years, everywhere is just up. It is our money. Kim, you will say, you know that one? Or we know what we move, we mingle with their contractor. When I tell you, say, 1 million minister, estate is in Guarimpa Express, you will say it's allegedly. It's not allegedly. It is our money. Can they tell us how much is their salary? Many of them, they cannot go to 1 million before Buhari became president. Appoint them everywhere now.
All right, Adomi.
But my joy is that all will end here. Thank you. God bless you, my dear sister and brother.
All right, God bless you too. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, Kim. Good afternoon, Itodo.
Welcome.
My name is Priye. I'm calling you from Ngige.
Priye, you say?
From Ngige, not Priye.
What's your name?
Victory is the name, Victory.
Oh, go ahead, Victory.
So, yeah, I want to pick up on the subsidy issue. You see this subsidy, I am of the take, they don't remove the subsidy. And this is my reason. I believe that this subsidy might actually be the straw that breaks the camel's back. I mean, a lot of people are just saying, we'll manage. How do you manage? The spending capitals of Nigerians have been stretched out. Nigerians are living on the edge. If you have to go by the data released by the MDS last year, the multiplication poverty, it said over 132 million persons are living in poverty. Now, by the time you remove subsidy for PMS, I will start buying PMS at 720 naira. The local effect of that will be so massive because PMS account for everything we use, whether you're entering Okada or you're entering cab. Okay, look at Ngige, for example, now. From Ngige to Bega is 500 naira just for one going. Going and coming is 1,000 naira. Now, when we start buying PMS at even 400 naira, how much do you think will be a car from Ngige? You talk about around 1,500, 2,000 just going already. What then is the salary of the average Nigeria? I mean, just think about the whole thing. Let's not talk about commodities. Let's not talk about goods. Let's not talk about services. The hyper in. I am more of the Peter of this opinion. But before you something, you let's ascertain how many liters are spending daily. Let's get then we cannot know what to do next. But something.
All right.
Even if that refinery kicks up by April, as I agreed to, and so this is removed to, it will still be expensive because why? The dollar rate, the naira has lost value against the dollar. So what we need to do right now is to start being pragmatic. What are the policies we can make economy so we can strengthen naira against the dollar? If not, remove the subsidy.
All right, Vic, we just had to throw his point and solid argument at this because, and he gave a practical example how it will affect transportation, and that is fact. It's not the fact that is definitely going to the cost of transportation. The price of petrol goes up, and Victor is even being conservative with his figure, talking about 400. I mean, you're getting experts in the field telling you it will go above 500, between 500 to 700. It will now depend on the marketer. And if NMPC is still so important, the scene for a lot of marketers will almost be the same.
Yes.
At the end of the day. So a caller was talking about no mooning with the next government coming in, and that is not fact, because you just need to hit the ground for addressing some of this problem. Politics, technically, we're done with the technical aspect of it. It's the judiciary that will resolve the rest. So we need to get, face-to-face with governance issues. And this is one issue I feel just state from now to June. This issue, subsidy, because it will impact.
And it's one to tell us we will. How will you do it? Because telling us how you will would better prepare people's minds as to how they handle it. And plans, we just get into a situation that we're able to handle it. But when the government is making their plans, let Nigerians how they plan to handle subsidy situation and all the issues that they're bringing into fight. No honeymoon at all. Things happening right now. I mean, it's really short. Then again, best to start late than not at all. And Nigerians, have their mindset tuned in time to prepare for the issues, because situation will be handled in 1 month, 2 months. It takes a long time. So we need to be better to ensure that, we are better
prepared by people coming in.
People coming in.
Because, they have ourselves. All of the time. We've been talking about subsidy years. And it means that if you want to run for office, you already have a team of brilliant men saying this is what we can do different if we get to office. All of the rearrangement and minds and is something that hopefully they have put together, convince themselves that it is workable before you even pick up the ticket to run for that office. Because it would be sad to have people who just come unprepared. And we saw that Harry when he came in 2015, totally unprepared. It was more about the politics to say, okay, we can muscle government out of the PDP, such that even the APC surprised itself with its victory enough to show that they were really not prepared, because it took 6 months to even get the president to elect his minister. Yes, team were set up almost immediately. Before we had a long conversation around it, but we saw how long. And then the argument was, we needed to shop for them. I should have done that before now. And then it took 6 months to eventually, the same crop of people apparently in the corridors of power. So let's hope that this government, they've dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's in terms of what the idea will be to hit the ground running. Let's go on a break and we'll be back. We'll hear more. Stay with us.
Hello. My name is Kimberly. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.